Modern warfare, with the advent of UAVs, missiles, and even artificial intelligence, has significantly changed the battlefield. However, these technologies haven't entirely replaced the role of main battle tanks. Today's modern tanks are not only more mobile, but also pack a powerful punch and can operate day and night in any weather condition. They remain crucial for securing a decisive victory on the battlefield. This is especially true for India, the world's second most populous nation. India currently has hundreds of tanks from its Russian partner, but they need more than just numbers. They need a symbol of national strength and self-reliance. So, how has India upgraded these tanks? Currently, the Indian Army's Armored Corps has nearly 4,000 main battle tanks, mostly T-72s and T-90s, both of which originated from the former Soviet Union and modern-day Russia. This force is organized into 3 divisions and 8 independent armored brigades, which equates to around 65 tank regiments. These are impressive numbers, even when compared to superpowers like China or the US. However, given the increasingly volatile regional situation and the need to upgrade military equipment, the Indian Army has been modernizing its tank force over the past few years. They've focused on enhancing mobility, self-protection, and firepower, including improving the ability to hit targets with the first shot. However, in the near future, according to the Indian military leadership, the current tank force still falls short of meeting the demands of modern warfare, even after being upgraded to the latest standards. Experts estimate that about 80% of the Indian Army's military equipment is of Soviet or Russian origin. In the Navy, this figure is 75%, and for ground forces, it's around 40%. Given this situation, India is making efforts to increase the localization of its weapons production. A significant step in this process is the recent delivery of the first batch of 10 T-90S Bhishma Mk3 main battle tanks to the Indian Army by the Nigam Group. The handover ceremony took place at the Heavy Vehicles Factory in Awadhi, marking a milestone in India's efforts to modernize its army. Currently, the Indian Army possesses over 1,200 T-90S Bhishma tanks, which are the mainstay of its armored forces, along with a large number of Soviet-made T-72 tanks and a few domestically designed and produced Arjun Mk1 tanks. In 2001, Russia and India signed a contract to supply the first batch of 310 T-90S tanks, valued at $1 billion. By 2006, they signed a second contract worth $2.5 billion to produce 1,000 T-90 tanks, including a technology transfer agreement. The T-90S variant for India, known as the T-90S Bhishma, is named after a legendary warrior from the Mahabharata epic. This tank is equipped with a powerful engine, infrared jamming systems, advanced fire control systems, and many other enhancements. The production of tanks like the T-90S Bhishma Mk3 is part of a contract to manufacture 460 new T-90 tanks, signed by the Indian Army in November 2019, aimed at strengthening its military capabilities and boosting self-reliance in weapons production. This is the first time the name T-90S Bhishma Mk3 has been mentioned, and it's likely an upgraded version of the previous T-90S Bhishma. While the exterior of the T-90 Mk3 doesn't show many differences, some defense experts believe it will feature several advanced upgrades and incorporate more locally produced components. These enhancements are expected to address the real-world challenges faced by the T-90S Bhishma, especially in the harsh operational environment of Ladakh at the foot of the Himalayas. One of the key improvements might be reducing the jack-in-the-box effect, a catastrophic explosion that ejects the turret from the tank's hull, often resulting in the crew's death. Additionally, the T-90 Mk3 could be equipped with an automatic target tracking system, a digital ballistic computer, and advanced observation systems, including a mid-wave infrared sight developed by India's DRDO and BL companies. This sight allows targets to be detected at distances of up to 8 kilometers, day or night, along with a highly accurate laser rangefinder effective within 5 kilometers. These upgrades enable the tank to engage targets at longer ranges with greater accuracy, thanks to adjustments from the ballistic software and laser systems. Some also speculate that the T-90 Mk3 is fitted with an upgraded autoloader similar to the one on Russia's T-90M, and that its armor has been enhanced to accommodate larger armor-piercing rounds. The Indian Ministry of Defense has announced plans to upgrade their existing fleet of T-90S tanks to the T-90MS standard. But their ambitions don't stop there. India is also working on a comprehensive overhaul of its tank force. Besides upgrading the T-90S Bhishma, India is planning a significant upgrade for their fleet of T-72 tanks. The idea is to merge the Soviet-era T-72 Ajaya chassis with the T-90S Bhishma turret, resulting in a new tank model called the T-AVA. With the ongoing war in Ukraine, Russia is primarily focused on maintaining its own tank forces, limiting its ability to support upgrades for other countries. In light of this, India has decided to find its own solutions by combining available technologies. The Indian Army's Corps of Electronics and Mechanical Engineers has designed the T-AVA, which weighs 45.8 tons, lighter than the T-90 but heavier than the T-72. This tank is equipped with a V92S2 multi-fuel engine generating 1,000 horsepower, along with advanced defensive solutions like DRDO-developed explosive reactive armor, ERA. The T-AVA also features anti-tank missiles that are more accurate and have a longer range than traditional anti-tank weapons. Previously, India had purchased over 1,800 T-72 tanks from the Soviet Union between 1982 and 1986, but discovered significant design flaws, particularly the vulnerability of the turret's ammunition storage to catastrophic explosions when hit by armor-piercing rounds. The T-AVA addresses these weaknesses by combining the modern turret of the T-90 with the robust chassis of the T-72, enhancing both its defensive capabilities and firepower compared to the original Russian T-90S models. The Indian Army currently operates two variants of the T-90, the T-90S Bhishma and the T-90MS, rather than using the Arjun tank. The main reason for this choice is their longtime rival Pakistan, which has T-80 tanks produced by Ukraine. The T-90 was selected because it is a direct successor to the T-72, with at least 60% of the parts being similar, making maintenance, repairs, and training easier. India closely monitored the performance of the T-90 during the conflicts in Chechnya in the 1990s. When Pakistan bought 320 T-80 UD tanks from Ukraine, India quickly signed a contract with Russia to purchase T-90 tanks, specifying improvements to meet their own standards. In battles with Pakistan in the West and tensions with China in Ladakh, India realized the need to integrate the most advanced equipment into their tanks. In 2016, India deployed over 100 T-90 tanks to Ladakh, an area with harsh terrain and weather, with temperatures dropping to -45°C. To ensure reliable operation, the tanks use special lubricants and fuel, and the engines need to be started at least twice each night. Since 2020, following a clash with China, T-90, T-72, and BMP-2 armored vehicles have been deployed along the border. Unlike the Arjun tanks, which are suited for hot plains, the T-90MS is designed for the freezing conditions at the India-China border. To enhance effectiveness, the Indian Army integrated automatic target tracking, ATT, and digital ballistics computer, DBC, systems into the T-90 starting in November 2023. The ATT automatically tracks moving targets, reducing reliance on the gunner's predictions and increasing accuracy in urgent situations. The DBC automates the ballistic calculations, reducing the gunner's workload and improving shooting precision. In July 2023, India installed 400 software-defined radios, SDRs, made by the local company Alpha Design Technologies on its T-90 tanks. SDRs enhance data sharing between vehicles and improve situational awareness for commanders. The new T-90 Mach 3 models might also feature these advanced electronics, especially as tensions at the China-India border remain high. Experts believe that armored forces will play a crucial role in upcoming confrontations. India has not only air combat experience but also ground combat experience from operations in Kashmir and along the Pakistan border. On the other hand, China, despite having a large force, lacks real combat experience since the 1979 border war with Vietnam. Despite this gap in combat experience, both countries have comparable troop numbers in the Himalayas, with India maintaining around 225,000 infantry and China having roughly 200,000 to 230,000 soldiers. However, China also has to deal with unrest in Xinjiang, Tibet, and potential conflicts along the Russian border, complicating the deployment of troops to the India border. India could target China's railways and highways in the Tibetan Plateau, but remains vulnerable to Chinese artillery and missiles. In the end, will India's upgrades to the T-90 tanks be enough to boost the strength of its army? Share your thoughts in the comments below.